Hi there Stampers, and thanks so much for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to make this very pretty fall type happy birthday card. So let's go ahead and get started. First I'm going to start with a piece of crumb cake cardstock. This is going to be the base for our card. I've cut it at 4 1/4 long ways on your paper, and then you fold it at the top. So it's a fun and unique fold. Next I have a piece of more mustard, and that measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I also have a piece of early espresso, which measures 4 by 5 1/4, and that is to mount that on. Okay, I'm going to set these two pieces aside and let's get to the stamping. Okay, today we're going to be using the Medallion background stamp, one of the favorites at Stampin' Up! Here. To ink up a background stamp, I just turn the stamp over. I kind of rub my ink all around it, and then I just do that. And you can look at your stamp and see if it's got a nice layer of ink on it. Now to get this stamp where it's half off, we're just going to stamp off a little bit. So I'm going to turn my stamp over, and I'm going to kind of line it up a little bit here. As you can see, I've got some edge left on the paper here, and the stamp is going to be off on the other side. And I'm just going to line it up as best I can, and then just push down on it. And it doesn't matter if it's perfect, because nobody will know the difference, how it's supposed to be lined up. Then I'm going to take the Happy Birthday clear mount stamp from the Bring on the Cake stamp set, and I'm going to use our Stampin' here and some early espresso ink so that I make sure to stamp that Happy Birthday exactly where I want it. Okay, I've got it mounted on an H block, and I'm just going to ink it up with some early espresso. First, I'm going to use the Stampin' Majig. You're going to line up the clear plastic, stamp down, see where it positions. Then you take the plastic and you put it over the card where you'd like it to be stamped at. I'm going to give it a little bit more ink here. Then you move the plastic out of the way, and you stamp down, and there you go. Alright. Now we're going to do this edge piece here. I have a piece of more mustard, and it measures 5 1/8 inch, so it's as long as this, and it is a 1/2 inch thick. And I'm going to be using the scallop edge punch here. Now I'm going to start punching in the middle of the piece, and then I'm going to go off to one side, and I'm going to line it up with the guides on the side here. And I'm going to punch again. Then I'm going to do the same for the other side. Punch again. And then you have that fun little scallop edge there, and it's just going to give it an interesting contrast on the side. Tack that down here with some adhesive. And then I'm just going to line it up at the corners and tack it down. Alright. Now I've got one of the little flower shapes from the Itty Bitty Punch Pack, and I'm going to punch out 3 of them in Cajun Craze. And I'm just going to take them in my hand, and I'm just going to kind of squish them up a little bit so it gives it some definition when we're adding them to the card here. I'm just going to squish up all 3 of them. And then when I flatten them back out, the edges will kind of be turned up, and it'll make them pop a little bit. I'm going to attach those, each one with a glue dot. And it's just going to be random, you know, wherever you want to. I like to group them together. You can kind of spread them out on the card if you want to. And then I'm going to take my paper piercing tool and some of our Jewels Basic Pearls. And I'm just going to add a little pearl in each one. I like the paper piercing tool for placing the pearls because you can pick it up and then you can place it exactly where you want it to be placed. Then I'm going to take the edges of these little flowers here and I'm just going to kind of fold them up a little bit so that they look like they're popping. I'm going to adhere this entire piece down. I'm going to mount it to this piece of Early Espresso. Just like that. Now to give the whole thing a bit of definition, I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to put a few on the back here. And we're going to add this to our card base, our crumb stock card base. And we will be all done with our card. It's a very, very simple card to make. It takes less than, 10 minutes to make, and you've got yourself an awesome fall card. This could be used for a masculine card. You could take off the flowers even if you wanted to. And you can also change the colors of it, give it a bit of a spring or a summer or a wintertime look by using some blues or some pinks or some purples. Alright, thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you like the card that we made today. And if you have any questions, feel free to visit my website at www.musemyworld.com. Leave a comment on any post or shoot me an email. Thanks.